Yes, sir. How are you?
I am good, brother. How are you?
I'm living. How are you?
I'm good. Firstly, I just want to say thank you so much for making the time, man. Hitting me back
on.
so quickly when I reached out, and I really appreciate it. It's so, I always say to people, it's the busiest people who seem to always have the most time. It's interesting, and I don't know how you managed to do it.
You know what? I think in life, I'm a big believer in you have time for whatever you want to make it for. Do you know what I mean? And Pastor Luke, I just like your energy. I like how you are. You're the type of church that I like, and so
appreciate that.
I feel like a lot of church has not evolved to we're still doing what. And I understand you're used to your habits and so forth, but at the same time, if we want to bring people in, if we want to continue to grow and we want to reach people, we have to come at it in a different approach. And I love your approach. So that's why for me, to make time for the church is why am I here? What's the point of having this gift if I'm not making time for the church?
I appreciate that, man. And I think, you alluded to something there, which I think kind of sums up at least some of the content that I've consumed by you, which is this idea of we're not going to do things how we've always done it just because, all right? We're not going to do that anymore.
No.
And the video I saw, which I told you when we spoke, that was like the final, the straw that made me say, no, I have to connect with him, was the video about GoFundMe is not a retirement plan, or not a
funeral plan.
Not a funeral plan. Tell us about that and the inspiration behind that video.
You know what? The inspiration behind the video for me was about just people understanding that we can't be shocked by death. I feel like a lot of people are walking around and someone dies and it's like it might be a surprise, but we should know that one thing that was guaranteed is we're gonna die. And so yes, maybe when you're young and you're a child, no one wants to bury a child, and you might not be thinking, and you might not have had plans. But at the same time, life insurance, if you're a parent and you have life insurance, it normally, especially if you have critical, it comes with child cover as well. So you covering yourself covers your child. And for me, this whole GoFundMe generation of, oh, someone died, here's a link, and now we can put some money in and GoFundMe is just not to me, it's not the answer. Actually, GoFundMe for me, I would rather see GoFundMes for young people that want to go to university but can't afford it because of financial situation, or some person who has a great business idea but the banks don't borrow the money. Let's do a GoFundMe and get them started. To me, that's GoFundMe. GoFundMe is not for funerals, or if it is for a funeral, it shouldn't be the be-all and end-all. I don't feel like every single person should be looking at, okay, someone's died, let's do a GoFundMe. Actually, let's have some life insurance, let's have trust, let's have wills, and let's make sure that we understand that if we talk about generational wealth all the time, we actually have the things in place that leave a legacy.
And this is what's so crazy and so powerful about what you're saying, is that, as you say, one thing that is for sure is that we're going to die, right? And I know it's not a nice thing to think about. And you're rebuking me at this moment, because at this moment in time, my life policy is not in place. So I'm just going to be honest and say that this is yet another confirmation that I need to sort it out. And to be honest, the thing that has been a sticking point for me is then when you start looking into options, it was like, okay, well, you can get one for yourself, or you can get one for your wife, or you can get a joint one, and the options that's my excuse. It's not a good excuse, but that is my excuse. How can I wade through, and how can some of us wade through all the options and avoid that, I guess, analysis paralysis, as they say?
Yeah, good question. So a lot of the time people do, when you've got a partner, you say, oh, should I get joint life cover? Most financial advisors, if you speak to a proper financial advisor, they'll tell you don't get a joint policy.
Okay.
A joint policy is only a little bit cheaper, but it pays out once. Okay. So imagine you can have 100K joint, and then if one of you die, pays out, that's it, it's gone. You'll have to go and get another one. The survivor has to go and get another one.
Right.
And you might save yourself £2 a month.
Right.
Or you get two separate policies.
Mm-hmm.
One dies, the other person still has theirs.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Now, the reason that's important is that obviously, as you get older, you're more likely to all of a sudden blood pressure, diabetes, these type of things. And when these things come in, the policy costs more. So when you're young, fit, and healthy, you want to smash the life insurance and get that in place, and don't wait till all these other things happen. And we're seeing more and more young people having cancer. I think I've had multiple women in their 30s have breast cancer, and I'm talking like 30, around the 35 mark. Breast cancer. We're seeing bowel cancer as well, throat cancer. So what I'm saying is that these things, when we think about them, especially as young people, we think 65, 70, 80. No, these things are happening to us, and we can't predict it. And guess what? The time you'll wish you had it is the time that you've got it, and it's all too late.
Yeah, it's peak at that moment in time, and you're like, why didn't I do it? So these will pay out when you're ill as well. So
they'll pay out, yeah. So there's critical illness. So that's what we're talking about in regards to if you have a heart attack, stroke, cancer, anything like that. That's critical illness. And then there's obviously life cover, which pays out a lump sum on your death. So for me, it's biblical about inheritance. Like it says it like a wise man leaves an inheritance. Do you know what I mean? And for me, for some of us, actually, the way we're working hard, but actually we haven't got any savings, we haven't got much money to actually leave an inheritance yet. But we might get to that point when we're 50, 60, God given. But we can guarantee that we leave an inheritance by having life insurance in place. Now, when that only costs 20 or 30 pounds, to me, when I think about what we're doing, we haven't got life insurance, but we're buying coffees at Costa and all and Pret. I don't know what they're doing with their coffee. I don't know what beans they're using. That sucker is unbelievable. So for me, it's like, if we've got money for this and that, we have to have money for life insurance. And 100%. Then we have insurance for our iPhone. So think about it. We value our iPhone more than we value our lives. And then we wonder why social media has such an effect on us. When you literally every day will pay for insurance for your phone that costs 500, 600 pounds, but you wouldn't pay for insurance to cover your life. Now, what is your phone without you?
Oh my days, this is gold. And I like where we started, because we started, Stephen Covey talks about starting with the end in mind, right? So we started with the end in mind. We've gone, you're gonna die, so let's work backwards. So boom, first things first, get that life insurance cover. All right, what would you say the next step is? All right, I'm taking notes. What should I do next?
The next thing is the basic, which is budgeting. It's all about budgeting. And no one likes to talk about budgeting. No one wants to talk about budgeting, because you know what? Budgeting is restrictive. And you know what? A lot of us, we work hard, and we go to work, and our boss talks to us recklessly. They don't give us the respect that we deserve. If we're early, they're still talking to us anyway. Everyone else gets to have the holiday they want. Unfortunately, we can't take the holidays we want. And so when we get paid, let somebody try and tell me what to do with my money. Do you know what I mean? Let somebody try and tell me how to spend my hard-earned money that I had to go in there. I bought my gel off to work, and they were sniffing all around me, telling me, "Oh, that smells nice. That's exciting." Like, do you understand what I'm trying to say? I've had to work hard for my money. So let nobody tell me to budget. But the importance is, and one of my favorite books is, Richest Man in Babylon, and it talks about paying yourself. And I feel so much in life we forget to pay ourselves. You understand? We work hard for our money, and we get our money. And then remember, before you got your money, the government have taken theirs. So you've paid the government. You've taken tax, national insurance. You've paid the government. Before you touched it, you've paid somebody else. Then you've got it. Then you've got rent, council tax, bills. So then again, you've paid other people again. And then when you get your money, you go to the shop and you spend in Sainsbury's, Tesco, ASOS, Boohoo, Pretty Little Thing. All of a sudden, you've paid everybody other than yourself.
Wow.
And then guess what? It's only the 5th of the month. So now we still got 25 days.
Oh gosh.
we still got to go. And all of a sudden we're on beans and toast, and we're looking around, and we're looking at what's to do. We're just drinking water at work. it's difficult. So for me, it's about paying yourself.
Yeah.
Give yourself some of your money. All right, you worked hard for it. Give it to yourself, and that is about putting that money away, putting some of your money aside for the future. And we all know about the harvest, and sometimes in life I feel like as Christians we miss it. Like these are principles, do you understand? Like when we talk about parables in the Bible, we talk about a harvest, and that, you know, putting the stock room away and putting it away for the harvest, for the winter season that's coming, and ensuring that everyone can. And to me, these are financial principles. But I always talk about people having sight but not having vision. Well, and for me, too many of us, we don't have vision. And the reason we don't have vision is that technology, our parents, everybody, we're all looking for a mentor. And the reason we're looking for a mentor is because we don't want to think for ourselves. All right. Wow. And so for me, and this is why I love what you do, is because you're a pastor, and a lot of pastors will spoon feed their audience or their congregation to the point that I don't need to think anymore. I just go to my pastor and he'll think for me. Yeah. But what you do is empower. You empower and you tell them, go and read it for yourself. Yeah. These are the verses. This is where I've taken the context from. And for me, this is so important for us, just in life. And again, that's one thing in my church growing up. My pastor always said, don't just believe what I say in the pulpit. Go and read it for yourself. And I thought, if my pastor makes me check him, why would I believe the person in the bank? Why would I believe I haven't got to check anybody else? If my pastor tells me, who I trust dearly, tells me I got to check him. And again, I learned this in church, and this is what I talk about. A lot of us have missed the lessons, the life lessons in church, because we feel that we're in a comfortable arena and we've come to meet our friends and family, and we come in and we sing and we dance and we go on. But there are lessons being learned or being thrown out. We're just not taking them.
You see, and this is why I think what you do is so essential. I think that it's the bridge now. I think our parents, our grandparents, it was just that cozy environment. We thought these were just these biblical ideas, but we've come along and we've been like, no, this is actually a direct bridge to real life, right?
Come on.
And this is what is so powerful about what you're doing, and I just love it. So, right, okay, cool. So we've got budget. Let me give one question's come through already, so I better read it before I forget. Do you need life insurance if you don't have a family and don't plan to have one?
Good question. The simple answer is no. So life insurance is more for if you have a family or if you want to leave money. Now, what I would say is, again, we talked about legacy. So if you have, brothers, sisters, or whatever it may be, you may, on your death, you may want to make sure that there's money available to bury you if you don't have that money already. So that's where life insurance can help. But also you can get a funeral plan or something of that nature that will, where you can basically pick out what you want in your funeral, what type of casket you want, what flower arrangements, all of that. And this is what we talk about. If you know it's going to happen, why wait to somebody else? You can plan your whole funeral now and you can pay for it. And within 3 or 4 years, it's paid off. And there we go. Now no one has to worry about burying you or where we're going to find the money. And that's there. But then also, what I would say is that critical illness is something that we all need, because that's for you. And if you got a heart attack, that's money for you. So I always talk to my clients and say, look, yes, we need life insurance, and that's there, and that's great for others. But the one thing you definitely need is critical illness. That's critical illness cover. That's to cover you. So that's really important.
And it links. It would be sad because this is a whole nother issue. And this is why I want to move people towards also making sure they're working in a field that they enjoy. I don't know. You might not get to be able to work with your actual passion, but if you get to work in an area where you enjoy, because I can also imagine people going, boy, this is my get out of jail free card now, boy. Let me just get sick.
Come on.
I can't wait to leave.
Come on. No, but I think what you say is really important. If you can't do your passion, but definitely find what you're good at. I always talk to people and say, look, life is short. We think it's long, but again, I don't want to be too biblical, but if you can compare it to eternity, then you know what I mean? It's nothing. It's a short period of time that we're here on. And for me, if I can't work in the actual field I want to and get paid in it, what I will do is find something that comes natural to me. Do a job that's easy to me. Therefore, I'm not taxing myself. I'm not killing myself every day because I have that natural gift. I can do it. So if I'm good with numbers, then I know that I want to do a job with numbers. If it's science, if it's marketing, whatever it may be, creative, do that. And then what we then do is, for me, is my evenings, my weekends, I can volunteer. I can add in whatever field I enjoy. And so now you're still getting to add that value that you want, and you're not being taxed during work. A lot of the time we're killing ourselves in a job that we don't like, and the energy is gone. By 5 o'clock, all you want to do is sleep. Like you're on the bus, just, you know what I mean? Just falling asleep on the person next to you, like, I'm sorry, I don't even know who you are. Like, do you know, I'm sorry. Like, do you know what I mean? It's killing you. So for me, it's like, no, that's not what you want. And for how many thousand? Like I always tell people, sometimes there's tax calculators. Sometimes you will get paid 4 or 5K less. And when you work it out on a monthly basis, it's a few £100. It's not a huge difference. So go do something that you enjoy. Go do something that you can enjoy or you can do easy, and then spend the time volunteer. And you never know, you might volunteer in something and eventually put that on your CV as experience, and then get a job in the field that you want to be.
Jeez.
And this is where I talk about sight and I talk about vision. Some of us have got sight, and we're doing the right things with our eyes. But if we only had vision, and that's why I pray for a generation of, bring a generation of people that have vision to see beyond what's in front of them. I always talk about one person sees wood, another person sees table. Like it's the same, but the vision is different. And I hope more of us see table and less of us see wood.
Bro, I love it. All right, so in terms of your career now, and you know, you've had success in your field as a financial advisor. We've seen you on TV. You're getting out there. When did you see that switch of, actually, I'm gonna go, I can be a financial advisor and I'm enjoying this and I'm good at this, but actually I could take this further? How did the vision kick in for you? When did it kick in for you?
I always tell people, like, I'm black. Like, I don't know if you guys ever seen a financial advisor, but I'm telling you, I think it's around 1% of financial advisors in the UK are black.
Wow.
So it's unbelievable how low it is, like, to the point when black financial advisors see one another, it's like, oh my goodness. Oh no, wait. Like, you're not here serving us drinks. You actually, like, do you know what I mean? Like, I've gone to meetings where I'm the only black person in there, and the only other black people are serving us coffees, or do you understand? And that's the kind of, and so for me, what happened was, I got to a level, like, I've worked my way up, I've killed it, I've got to the level where now I'm dealing with clients. Average clients got 2 million, and I'm here and I'm enjoying myself, and I'm saying, yes, I've made it. I made it. And you know what? I looked around and all my colleagues are white. All my clients are white. Yet on a Sunday, I would sit in a room of 600 to 700 black people and say, why do I not see you during the week?
Wow.
Why do I not see you during the week?
Wow.
And then I said to myself, well, God gave me this gift. This is my gift.
Yes.
And so I've got an option. Eban, you can stay where you're at and be the unicorn. And everyone loves you. Everyone was, listen, when I tell you, the people that gave me the most chances in my career are white. Like, white people have empowered me. White people have poured into me. White people have mentored me. White people have given me promotions and my highest paychecks. My best clients, my top clients, white. So it's not even a race thing.
No,
but I said to myself, I cannot be here in the, and I always said it's the land of milk and honey. Like, I cannot be in the land of milk and honey. My people are still in Egypt. I can't. And so for me, I said, I've got to go to Egypt. I've got to go back to Egypt. And so I decided to say, look, I'm going to come and educate my people. When I tell you, they laughed at me. Because they said to me, Eman, you do understand that financial advice is designed for high net worth people.
Yeah.
And so you want to go and educate people with low incomes.
Yeah.
This is in contradiction to what the job entails. Yeah. And so this is what I talk about, sight and vision.
Yeah.
So I decided to start this platform and educate. and teach. Because to me, I got more joy helping someone become the first person to own a house in their family and destroy the cycle of poverty than I ever did helping someone go from 2 million to 4 million.
Yeah.
All right. And so now we fast forward. And I'm on television. If you see the haters that were laughing at me, now be talking about, oh, I can do that. Oh, I would have been able to do that. Oh, it's so amazing how you've been able to. Listen, when I talk about sight and vision, listen, I decided, I didn't know TV was coming. I didn't do it to be on TV. No. But I knew I was going to make an impact. And you see, sometimes in life, when you're making an impact in a place where no one's impacting, you have to stand out.
Come on.
You have to stand out. And so when I stand out now, people started to look at me different, like, wait, what's going on? And so what happened with the Channel 4 show is, Channel 4, 3 years ago, piloted a show that didn't get any funding. And then they brought it back. And they were looking for someone. And one of my sisters, Bonaso, she auditioned. And at the end of her audition, they asked her, do you know anyone else? And then she said, yeah, my boy E-Man. And gave them my number straight away. And they called me. And she called me, said, look, you might get a call from Channel 4. If they call you, I gave them your number. The next day they called. And I went through. And when we went through the show idea that they had, everything they said they wanted to do in the show, I was already doing in reality. What they laughed at me, the things that they laughed at me for doing, Channel 4 wanted to do a television show doing exactly what I was doing on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
And so from there, I was on. They put me on the show. They had to. Yeah. Like they couldn't find a financial advisor that was dealing with Joe Public. Yeah. They couldn't find it. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, I'm here. Wow. Plus I'm black. Yeah. Hello? Like, where are you finding this? And so what I'm saying to people is that sometimes we are doing stuff in our lives. Sometimes we are doing stuff and we're afraid to turn that corner because no one else ain't doing that. Yeah. Sometimes, even the people that we will trust, our confidant, will tell us, listen, I don't think that's for you. Yeah. I'm telling you, have vision and understand that no one is you. And this is what I always tell people. Your superpower is that you are the only version of you. Come on. And so listen, go to the bread aisle in Tesco and just look at how many different types of bread there are. Could you imagine if Hovis said, you know what, they already got Kingsmill, I'm not doing Hovis. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah. And this is what we do. Yeah. This is what we do as people. We look at it and say, listen, there are so many other people doing this. I can't fit in this space. But listen, they're not you. They're not you. And they're not going to hit how you're going to hit. Yeah, and they're not going to affect people. There is no knowledge. There's nothing that I say that somebody didn't teach me. And for somebody to teach me means it already existed. But yet they want to hear it from my lips. And this is what I tell people. That's what I tell people. So you need to understand your power. And now the other day, listen, I got 4 GCSEs. I always tell people think I'm mad smart. Wow. I just studied. I got 4 GCSEs. I failed in college and I got a 3rd class in my degree. In March, before the lockdown, I was delivering a talk at Cambridge University. Me. And I was the smartest person in the room in my field. What? Yes. And so for me, I need people to understand in life, like, don't make nobody tell you nothing. I'm doing this. I did this morning, and I always tell people I did this morning earlier on, like about 3 months ago. I was on this morning talking to Emmanuel and Ruth on this morning. Like, I'm from a council estate in Tower Hamlets. I was talking to Emmanuel and Ruth on this morning. People. When I started my Instagram page, when I started it, people said to me, what do you want to be? What's the dream? I said, I want to be the next Martin Lewis to a new generation. When I tell you, you got to stop there because that's how I explained you to people. That is ridiculous. I said to someone today, they said, who's on the show today? I said, the Black Martin Lewis. No, it was on the weekend. I said it to my church. I said to them on the weekend, I was running through the order. I said, on Tuesday, we've got the Black Martin Lewis. That's exactly, anyone in the comments will confirm it.
Like, so, sorry, carry on. That was uncanny. Carry on.
So I said to them, and it's mad because that's what I said. I said I want to be the next Martin Lewis, a black Martin Lewis to a new generation. All right. At that time, I didn't even have 100 followers. Do you know what I mean? I didn't even have 100 followers. I was being cheeky. I was actually being cheeky, even saying that out loud. Do you understand? I was actually being cheeky, saying it out loud. Now, if you check, you can Google. There's a Sun article, and the article says Emmanuel Asuquo, the next Martin Lewis. And when I tell people about, you don't understand. Some of us, we need to be careful how we use our tongue.
Come on.
You see me, the things that I wish for are out of this world, and then they happen. Some of us are, the reason we haven't reached where we want to reach is because our goals are to have certain followers on Instagram. Our goals are about to have 1,000 likes. Our goals, and so don't get me wrong, you'll get that. But the problem is that there'll be nothing to show afterwards. And so for me, be careful of the things that you wish for.
Yeah.
Because when they come true, all of a sudden, for some of us, there's nothing left.
Wow.
For me, I said something and I had no reason, I had nothing to say other than the confidence I had in myself and my ability to get there one day. And now it's happened. So start dreaming, and I talk about dreaming big. And when you say it, people will laugh. People will say, oh, how can you say that? How can you think that? Listen, my God is too big. If he's done it I need people to understand, and this is why I talk about faith. Like, any person that you see on earth and you think they've been successful, you have to understand that, is that not created by God? Is that not the same Father that you call Father? Is that not the same God when times of trouble, you close your eyes and you pray to? So if he can do it for somebody else, why can't it be me? Why? Because I come from a council estate in East London.
Come on.
Is it because my parents did it? My parents are immigrants. Is it because I've only got 4 GCSEs? Well, how about he done it already and he's going to do more?
Come on.
What's next? What's your next excuse, people? Like, what's your next excuse? Because I'm not finding any.
The E-Man effect. This is the E-Man effect right here. This is the E-Man effect. Oh my days, this is amazing. So, all right, so we've got a life policy, we've got a life insurance. Yes. We're starting to budget.
Yes.
Do you have just a quick to help people out a little bit with a kind of idea on like percentages, the way you think about just breaking up, just a very simple way to get some of us kind of started in that direction?
So what I want people to do, first of all, is understand the concept of delayed gratification, okay? So for a lot of us, we are very much about instant gratification, okay? Yes. So what that means is if we see something, we like it, we buy it. Because we want, it's nothing to do with the item. And that's the problem. People think that they're buying stuff because they want that. Yeah. You don't want that. It's the mental, there's the hormones that are inside of you when you buy something. There's a feeling that you get. And so the reason you continue to buy that, the reason you continue to get that is because it gives you that feeling. Yeah. And so what we have to understand is delayed gratification and understand that actually I'm doing this process wrong. So this is the process. You make money. And what you do now is you make money and then you spend money. Okay? Yes. And so what happens is when you live like that, you will always have to work because you always need to buy stuff. Do you understand? There's always, you're always, and I call it the slave mentality.
Oh, gosh.
Other people call it consumerism. I call it the slave mentality.
Wow.
Because what you are doing is that you are now a slave to your master, which is your work, okay? Your job is now your master because you want to live a lifestyle where you must always have to buy. I call it apples and trees, all right? So for a lot of us, we are focused on apples, all right? So all we want is apples, and apples is money. All right. We want money. So all we focus on is apples. And so what happens is because I'm focusing on apples, I always have to find someone that has a tree. All right. Because you understand? I always have to find someone that has a tree.
Stop it. Stop it.
What we need to do is plant trees. Okay. And so when you make your money, what you do is a portion of that money you put away and invest that money. Okay. And so that money then grows. And then that money, the interest or the dividends from that money will pay for the thing that you want. Now, by changing the process and doing it that way, what happens is that you are still, your asset is growing and the asset will pay for the lifestyle that you want to live. And so in the example of apples and trees, it takes time, but you grow trees. And so now I have trees, I'll always have apples. Does that make sense?
That makes complete sense.
Okay.
Absolute complete sense. Wow. Ruth is here in the comments. Ruth C. Believe she's dying. A few times she's like, I'm logging out. But no, that is absolutely correct. That is exactly it, right? That is exactly it. So, all right. So trees, we're trying to build trees that allow us to have so literally money can grow on trees once we build the tree.
We need to, but it takes time.
Yes.
And the thing that I always talk about is the fact that when you plant that seed, these trees don't come in seconds, you know? Trees take a time to grow. That means that when you're looking across, you're going to see other people's trees and you're going to be tempted to say, oh, why have they got a tree? They've got a tree because they planted way before you. All right? They planted before you. And this is what happens on social media. A lot of the time we're looking, why does this person have a following? Why do they like this person so much? Yeah. But listen, somebody has been somewhere doing something, building a skill, building something while you were enjoying. When you were watching EastEnders, somebody was studying, somebody was working, somebody was building. Now, all of a sudden, you feel that you are entitled, instant gratification, entitled. And so I want us to have a mindset of delayed gratification, a mindset that says, actually, money is a tool.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we use money just to buy stuff. Money is a tool.
Wow.
And ask anybody that has money, they will tell you that it takes money to make money.
Yeah.
Okay? And so what happens is that you're making money at work, and that's the first place to start. But you need to now say, the less I can spend, the more I can build. The quicker I get to my trees. Do you understand? So what I'm telling you is that I'm not saying don't spend your money, but understand that the more you spend on things now, the longer it takes you to build your tree, which means the longer you have to work and the longer you are choosing to be a slave. Now, I don't want you to be a slave. I want you to be free, okay? But you don't want to be free because you want to enjoy now. I'm telling you, the things that you think you will miss out now, you will enjoy more in the future. But are you ready to deny yourself that instant for the long term? And for a lot of us, we're not. And the reason we're not is because consumerism makes the economy go round, and people are benefiting from your lack of knowledge. And this is the big thing for me. When I look at America, for example, the number one purchasers of Mercedes-Benz in America are black people. Okay? Do you know that black people are not the number one makers of money? I don't know if anybody ever told you that. I don't know if that's a shock, if that surprised you. And so when we look at it, when we look at council estates, I see so many council estates, and I see BMWs, Jaguars, and listen, you are driving a BMW or a Jaguar, yet you are on a bunk bed with your big brother in your mum's yard. I don't understand how people are living this baller life, sleeping on bunk beds, popping champagne, and then going back to your bunk bed afterwards. You should be ashamed of yourself, okay? Stop that. Stop that, okay? It's not acceptable. And so for me, you are fighting over who is going in the top bunk, who is going on the bottom bunk. Yet you've got X5 outside. You've got Range Rover outside, and you are still arguing in your 30s who will be sleeping on the top and who will be sleeping at the bottom. Lord have mercy on us all.
Oh my gosh, you're killing me. And I'm going to wake up my kids. Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. Oh my days. Oi, that is so real. Oh my, and here's the thing, and it's like a perfect storm, because the thing is that obviously the back foot that we're on as a culture is because we've just, and I say this a lot, like we've just been here for less time. So of course we haven't built our own thing yet, just because we haven't been here long enough. But just give us a bit of time. But then before we even acknowledge that, we then are also, as you're saying, we're the biggest consumers. So we're doubly kind of slowing down our own progress with that type of mentality.
Of course. And this is the thing. And this is, again, when I talk about, I'm a big believer that a lot of this comes from slavery in regards to the mentality that we have. And I always compare it to, people in the ones in the field and the ones in the house. So the slaves that were in the house used to look at the ones in the field and say, I'm in the house. It was a better position to be in. Okay. And so they would say, I'm in the house, I'm not in the field, I'm better. Okay. And so what happens is that with black people, we know that we are judged. Okay. So I always talk about my white neighbor next door. My white neighbor next door drives one banged out Polo. This Polo is listen, she tried to offer me a lift to the station. I said, no, I'll walk. If you don't know, I'm fat. I really don't like to walk, but I ain't getting in that. Number one, I don't even know if I get into it, if it will even go. That's what that is. It's one ugly Polo, okay? It's like 15 years old. You know what I mean? I can't drive. I can't get in it. But my neighbor has a house that they've just done a 4-story extension, and now it's worth like 1 point whatever million. Now she can do that because she doesn't have to live with being judged by how she looks. You understand? Whereas us as black people, a lot of us will feel that when people look at us, they may think that we're poor. Yeah. And so what we do is that we buy things to make people think that we're not one of the poor ones. Just like we used to be happy that we're one in the house, not one in the field. Okay? Wow. And so what happens is the reason that we're owning Mercedes and the reason that we're buying expensive clothes and talking about Birkin bags, only earning 25K and your bag is worth 8,000. Think about it. The reason that we're doing this stuff is that we want to be seen as not one of the poor black people.
Yeah,
okay?
Not one out in the field.
And I need you to understand that your value comes from within. Okay. And so when you understand that you are valued, you are valuable. Okay. What happens is when you understand that you are valuable, you understand anything that you own, anything that you have, you make that valuable because it belongs to you. Wow. And so what happens is that now you don't need to buy whatever to prove anything because you already know your value. And so when we talk money, I talk so much more about mindset than I talk about money. Yes. Because if you understand who you are and whose you are, then all of a sudden, these expensive things mean nothing.
Mean nothing. Mean nothing. Oh, gosh, this is legit. This is so powerful. You're right. It's the battle is in the mind, isn't it? It's the battle. Definitely. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Like the battle is in the mind. Come on. And these ideas and these thoughts that we have towards money, we've just got bad and kind of wrong thinking towards money, right? So okay, cool. So we've got budgeting. we've got life insurance. We're budgeting. We're starting to think about growing those trees. Yes. Someone commented, what if I just have, someone's written a question, what if your income is just low? And I'm sure this is one of the things you get often. Of course. Your income is low, and I totally understand that. Number one, obviously you got to keep your costs down as much as possible. But your income's low. Then my question to you is, what are you doing to add value to yourself? This is the problem. My kids, I don't talk to them about money. I talk to them about value. You see, my kids, they do drama. Whether they want to become an actor or not, they're going to need to learn how to public speak because their dad gets paid to talk. So they need to have the confidence to be able to speak. And they need to have the confidence to be able to talk and network. They're going to get that from drama school. They do karate to build their confidence in themselves and be self-aware. They're going to do computing. They're meant to do it, but because of COVID, it got cancelled. But they're going to learn about computing and tech. But again, they may never want to be in tech. But guess what? If there's ever a recession or anything like that, they can quickly go on Fiverr or one of these websites and say, listen, I'll make you a website. I'll help you do this. And so my thing is, okay, your income is low. I totally understand that. I respect that. But what are you doing to add value to yourself that somebody will pay you something different? But no, you're not doing anything because your focus is on money. This is the problem. This is what they're going to teach you. They're going to teach you money. Because money requires you to be what? A slave. And so what I'm trying to teach you is about value. Because when you have value, somebody will pay you for the value that you've added to yourself. Now you're free. So, Ada, you just messed everything up. You just messed us up. We're just a mess right now, right? This is amazing stuff. And so when you're looking at that idea of, as you're saying, taking your mind off money, now looking at the value you can offer, and then kind of making yourself, I guess, just more marketable, right? I think that is such a powerful idea. How are you received by, like, I guess just the regular folk who,
Yeah.
they, as you say, they benefit of us being not educated. Have you had
Yeah.
any backlash? It strikes me, I don't think you'd even be worried if you did.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if you do get any backlash for actually educating people.
Yeah, I don't get backlash for the education side of things. I get backlash for the black side of things.
Really?
I'm very, as much as don't get me wrong, I educate everyone and I
Yeah.
go to schools, I go to whatever, but
Mhm.
I'm very conscious of my community.
Right.
And so I'm very conscious of making sure that, you know, I make time for my community, and I will get backlash because of that. I will get backlash because, you know, they like, why black? Why we all lives matter. You know, them type of people. And so for me, I can't even worry for that, because people need to understand that I could have been the people that I want to help. I could have been just like them.
Yeah.
I need people to understand. Man grew up on a council estate. My dad was, you know, a trainee accountant doing security at nights, and then doing studying accounts during the day. Grew up on. I had to share two bedroom flat. I had to share a bedroom with my sisters. That's not even legal now. Do you know what I mean? I was a big man sharing bedroom with my sisters. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
All man knew, the biggest riches that I knew was the big piece of chicken. That was like, you know, I wanted to be a dad. Now I've got 4 kids because of it. But, you know, I wanted to get to the point where I could have the big piece of chicken.
Big
you know
piece
what I
of
mean?
chicken. Yeah,
that was the respect level. That was what you could really respect. And so for me, the reason I have such a passion is that, you know, I'm blessed that people have mentored me and supported me to get to where I am today. But I understand that representation matters. I understand when I walk into a school that's predominantly black, it makes an impact.
100%.
It makes an impact. When I open my mouth and I talk like this in front of 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and I'm spitting knowledge in a language that they talk and understand, do you know how mind-blowing that is? Do you know how that's you know what about transformation? Because you know when they leave, they're like, no, I can do it. I can do it. Listen, this guy knows all this, and I'm smarter than he was. And I told him, you are smarter than I was when I was your age.
Wow.
And now millionaires pay me. Millionaires pay me to tell them what to do with their money. So what are you gonna do? Listen, there ain't no teacher that can touch them like that.
No.
Do you understand?
No.
And so for me, I've got to get my voice to the community.
Yeah.
I've got to get in these places, because they need to know that you can sound like us, you can come from our background, you can be limited, you can be held back, and you can still achieve all your dreams and more.
Wow.
And so for me, that's why I'm so on this black thing. And that's why for me, I know that I know sometimes I have to take a pay cut. I tell you, some of these black events, like, it's painful, bro. Like, there's no budget. Like, there's even the budget is below the budget. Like, there's nothing. Like, do you know what I mean? They can't even pay man's travel. Like, I'm actually losing money just to come and you know what I mean? These black events are crazy. I'm saying, wow. Like, you wrote this long email, 2-page email, to invite me to an event, and there is no budget. No budget. 100 scriptures, but no budget. I'm like, oh Lord, like, what's happening here? So now I've got to say to myself, my wife will look at me and she'll give me that look like, yo, bro, we got 4 kids out here.
Oh God.
How do you keep taking these events? Like, what's going on? Like, and for me, it's about understanding that I'm gonna take a pay here, but I know I'm gonna get these corporate and these corporate events are gonna save my life. But listen, we've got to bring change, because these black events are killing me.
Oh gosh.
I'm working way too hard for no budget, like no money. And listen, the expectation is unbelievable. Like, you turn up and you try not to be good at what you do. They want like £10,000 worth of speaker on 0 budget, like nothing. And man, you might get a water and a cracker. You think they're doing communion. The way that these budgets, they're giving you communion on the way in. A water and a couple biscuits, and they're saying, God bless you. Listen. Like, it's painful. So for me, I understand that that's my sacrifice. That's
Yeah.
my cross to carry, because
Wow.
this is this gift that God gave me.
Wow.
And I've got to give it back to my community.
Wow.
And if we all just looked at ourselves, we've all got a skill, we've all got a gift that we can give back to our community. And when we start to strengthen the community, I'm all for protesting, I'm all for marching. But let me tell you, when we have ownership, when we have assets, they're gonna have to listen.
Wow.
And so for me, that's my gift that God gave me, and that's why I'm here now sharing it, and I want to go out there and share it to the world.
Bro, this is just amazing stuff. I know exactly what you mean, as someone who, you know, has just been involved in church work all my life. Trust me, like, I know exactly what you're talking about, right? But there's just something about our community that we just love it. We just love our people so much.
So much, man.
And it's just no matter how big we get, even as I said, the way you responded to me and just getting in touch, I could just tell that we were just on the same level, man. And I just, same level of, you know, you're a lot bigger platform, but you know what I mean?
No, but that's
I appreciate it, bro. So, all right, cool. So where are we? Okay, so we got our life insurance.
Yeah.
We got our tree. We're thinking about our tree. What's the first type of tree we should be thinking of kind of building? The first type of, I guess, income producing asset that we could start working towards.
So the first thing we have to work towards is an emergency fund.
Okay.
That is what I call it, self-assurance. All right. So we know that, you know, we can lose our job, we can get sick, things can happen. And so what we don't want to do is invest in something and have nothing to protect us if we're out of work for a period of time, especially in a climate like we're in now.
Yeah.
So the first thing we got to do when I talk about paying ourselves is building up an emergency fund. Now, to build your emergency fund, you've got to ask yourself a question. And that question is, how much does it cost to be you? And for a lot of us, we don't know this. We know what time we got to be at work.
Yes.
We know what meetings we got throughout the whole week.
Yes.
We know what our manager's eating for lunch.
Yeah.
But we don't know how much it costs to be us.
Wow.
And so you got to go through your last 3-4 months of statements and say, where am I spending my money? And how am I spending my money? And how much does it cost to be me? And once you get that figure, you're going to want to, normally we'd say 3 months, but for me, in this current climate, getting a new job can take you a lot longer than 3 months. It is not easy right now. You've got loads of people being made redundant.
Yeah.
You may have to take a job that's less than what you're used to. So again, your emergency fund may be able to fill in the gap until you can find
a job,
get a better job, better paying. And so for me, I feel, you know, you want 4 or 5 months worth of income in an account to self-insure. Now, once you've done that, then to me, there's 3 pillars. The first one is property. I'm not saying that this is the one you got to go for, but the first pillar to me is property. The second one is investments, so stocks and shares and pensions. And the third one is business. And for me, if you want to get to a point or a place of financial freedom, you want to have something on each one of those pillars. Okay. Now, for some people, you may want to, like for me, I decided to go for the business first. And this is how I'm here today. I said, I want to build a business. I want to be free. I don't want to work. I want to be able to feed my family from the works of my own hands. And this is what I'm doing now. For others, they want to buy their property because they want to get on the property ladder. But I want us to be careful with property because a lot of the time, property is vanity. All right. The reason people go for property first is because you can tell people, you can invite people around. Yo, come see my house. You know, we can have that one picture on Instagram showing our keys. And you know what I mean? And again, it can be very much about showing off or the vanity of property. Whereas you can have, you know, shares in Apple, but no, you can't really, you know, walk around with those. You can't really like, you know, oh, hey guys, like that, it doesn't work the same. You know what I mean? And so because of that, a lot of the time we can focus so much on property. And then the third one is business. And I think with business, what business does is the reason that it's important for us to have business. And I know for a lot of people, they don't want to be an owner or they don't want to be a CEO or whatever. But the reason it's important for us to have business is that we have to start employing ourselves. And what people don't understand is that your business that you're going to create is going to hire my child. And my child needs you to have that business. But if you allow fear to stop you having that business, my child now has to go work for someone else. And that someone else might not want to hire them because they're black. And I see it in so many other communities. Now, also, we have to remember a business you may not have to have a 9-to-5 business like a shop. You can get a lease. I can buy a lease now to a shop and then hire it out, and someone else can use it as a barber or as a hairdresser.
Yes,
that's a business.
That's a business.
I can buy a car and then I can rent out that car while I'm not using it. That's a business.
That's a business.
And so sometimes we have to look at it different. Like when we think business, we think, you know, I've got to be the boss and CEO and but there are different types of businesses. Yeah. And so for me, it's about getting that income, because the thing about businesses is that when the business goes well, you can hire people and they can run that and you can get paid without being there Monday to Friday. And what do I want us to be? I want us to be free. Okay. Yeah. And so a business is a great way to become free. Yeah. Then if you've got stocks and shares and investments that are growing over the longer term, then if you've got property and you've got income as well as asset growth, all of a sudden you don't have to wait till they say state pension. Because I'm telling you, if you need state pension to retire, you're working till 80. Yeah. All right? Yeah. Because they're going to tell you we're living longer. So the state pension age is going to keep going back. Yeah. I need you to understand, when do you want to be free? Yeah. You see me, I told myself, listen, within the next 4 to 5 years, my wife, I'm going to retire her. I'm going to buy enough properties so she don't have to work no more. Awesome. Then I'm going to work on myself. But guess what? I don't have a job. I do what I love and they pay me. I can do this for years. I love it. Even when they tell me to stop, I will be doing it. Like, even when I will be, this is what I love to do. Yeah. Like we're on this call right now. You see the energy that I'm giving? Yeah. I love it. I'm not getting paid, but I love it. This is what I do. And so I don't work. I just do what I love and get paid for it. Wow. And so for me, it's about getting to that position over time. And so once you build those pillars, now you're free. I'm free. I tell people I'm free. Yeah. I'm a free man. I live off my own income. Yeah. That means, don't get me wrong, living off my own income means I get less than what I could get working for someone else. Yes. I could work for someone else right now and get paid 100K plus. Yeah. Yeah. I don't make 100K plus now. Yeah. But I'm free. Yeah. And what price are you putting on your freedom?
That. Wow. I'm thinking to myself that we should do this every day, mate. Once I get a budget in, we'll do this every day, geez. Like this is just phenomenal. So we're starting to build those investments. So the 3 things were investments, so stocks and shares, property, and businesses. And this is what we're starting to think about. And it's huge because it, as you say, it gives another place for your income to go. Because if you're not thinking in that way, then it's also easy to get into that trap of, I paid the bills, what have I got left? I know people who divide the rest of their paycheck over the weekend. So like, 3 more weekends, 3 more nights out. Ooh, how can I divide this money out? But it's like, it's just a different way of thinking, of putting it, as you say, and that's why having the budget is so important. Having that budget line of whether it's your stocks and your shares, whether it's your property pot, or whatever it is, it's just another place where you can actually just assign your money to, and it's just done. Like, am I right? Tell me.
That's perfect. And that's it. There's always going to be some money. Listen, in this corona, in this lockdown, in whatever you want to call it, you must have some money for enjoyment. For your mental health, I need you to understand. Now, any expert that tells you, pay all your bills and then save all the rest, listen, they're not thinking about your mental health. No. Like I told you, when you buy, when you spend, when you do things that you enjoy, there is a release inside of you. It's human nature. There is a release. And so you've got to give yourself that release. Now, what you need to understand is, and this is what I do with a lot of my clients, some of our releases is too expensive, my G. Like, some of us are spending £200 in Hakkasan. In Hakkasan for a Chinese. My goodness. Have you not been to ping pong? Ping pong is like 20% of the price. And it tastes even better. Listen, chill out. Don't be going Hakkasan for nobody else, okay? So my thing is that you want that release. I got people now, like I've spoken to a client today, and I was telling her, listen, you and your husband, you're at home, you're not going out, okay, but you can still buy an outfit, you can still get dressed, put some candles and have dinner at home. And you will get that release at a lot lower price than you were paying going out. Listen to me, people. Some of our releases at 200, it needs to be at 20. You gotta find something cheap. You gotta find a cheaper alternative. You understand? And so what I'm saying is that you gotta have an enjoyment. You gotta spend some money on yourself. After all, you work for it.
Yeah.
But budget that. What is
Budget
that?
that.
Budget that. And so that way, and understand, the more you give to your release, the less you give to planting trees.
Say that one more time for the people them at the back.
The more you give to your release, the less you give to planting trees.
Bro, I don't even know. Like, I have to land the plane because Instagram's going to cut me off with their silly limits. And I don't want them to cut you off in the middle of another gem. But brother, we're just so grateful for your time, man, for your expertise, for your wisdom. I know we could only scratch the surface, really, with this time that we've got. How can we continue in this journey, kind of learning from you? And I guess the first place to start is to follow your channel. Follow Eman at the Eman Effect. I just write it down here. Let me write it down here. At the Eman Effect UK.
Yeah,
and then
Effect UK, yeah.
How else can we take it? You know,
I mean,
we're taking this more seriously.
For me, if you want to take it seriously, I'm a big believer in also there are other voices. Like, you might like my style, but there are others. There are other, you know, financial professionals on here, like we said, like Bola Soul. Like, there's so many other out here. Like, if you want to, I always talk about, if you really want to change your finances, then be about it. Like, when I wanted to learn, when I wanted to learn and I studied this stuff, I had to go into the shed in the garden with one little lamp. There were cats walking up and down on the roof of this shed, and I used to study when other people are watching EastEnders. Yes. But then when I got to 2022, youngest financial advisor in Barclays, and Barclays gave me a company car, BMW 3 Series, brand new off a truck. All of a sudden, all those people that were enjoying at the rave, saying, "Where you been? Where you been?" Oh, they know where I have been. You understand?
Yes.
They knew where I have been. And so for me, what's important for you is to understand, what are you trying to achieve? Where are you trying to go? Understand that it takes sacrifice. And so there are so many other different voices out there. There are so many other different people out there. If I want to be about finance, then I'm going to listen to every finance podcast I can find. Go on YouTube, follow on sites. If I want to be about income or business, follow it. Like social media, LinkedIn, like, and I always talk about how much time do you spend on Instagram over how much time do you spend on LinkedIn. Let me tell you right now, for free, you better be spending more time on LinkedIn.
Wow.
You all right?
Wow.
And so for me, and the problem is that we're nervous to network. I need you to understand, every new person you connect with is a person closer to that person that's going to help you reach your dreams.
Wow.
And so you being shy to say, "Oh, I don't want to speak to that person," or "I don't want to put myself out like that," or "I don't want to be beggy." Beggy. Go to Silicon Valley. Go to Silicon Valley. Ask them how much time they beg for money.
Wow.
Ask them how much money they beg for. Then look at your phone. Oh, yeah, it's Apple. Go ask them how beggy they feel.
Wow.
So sometimes the way we are, like, we got too much pride with no dough. Listen, relax your pride. Like, I always tell you, your bank account don't lie. Some of us, our pride is like we're millionaires. Our bank account is in overdraft. Yeah. Be cool. Know where you're at. Embrace it and make the change. Make the change. Make the change. Don't allow pride and seek advice.
Yeah.
If I got a pastor like you, Pastor Luke, if I got a pastor like you that's out here trying to educate me, why would I not be messaging you? What do you think I can do in my life? How can I improve? Who do you know I can connect with? Imagine how, these are the type of pastors you want that are connected, that are linking to people. Now Pastor Luke knows me. The next time you say, "Oh, I need to speak to a finance person," say, "Yo, my guy Eman's over there. Yeah. Just mention my name.
Yeah.
Eman will look after you."
Bro.
Do you understand?
Bro, they're going to cut us off. They're giving me 15 seconds. Eman, thank you so much.
Love you
God
guys,
bless you, man, your family, your future. Just let's stay connected, brother.
Definitely,
thank you so much, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you tomorrow. Peace.